Get a shot up. This is for the win.
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward.
All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports.
Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Hey, let's go. Friday show. It is August 11th, 2023. Ermanni and Edwards with Mass. Woodward Sports Network. WoodwardSports.com. Fox2Detroit.com if you're watching live. However you are watching or listening to Woodward Sports, we certainly appreciate you. Live from Dispo in Hazel Park here, 9 Mile and 75. Great partners here on Woodward Sports. Dispo. Braylon Edwards, good afternoon to you, my friend.
Good afternoon to you too, man. Glad to be here. Always fun when we come to Dispo, whether it's Romeo. But today, it's Hazel Park, not too far from where I grew up, right there on 8 Mile and Woodward. But happy to be here with you. Ryan, something interesting happened to me yesterday as I say hello to Parker as well as JB and leaving you guys out in the cold. IA, shout out to my man Brady. Fun time last night, Ryan. 5-iron golf downtown. You've been there, Cambry Hotel, down in the basement. It was fun. Got a chance to see what the guys could do on the golf course. And let's just say, you know, we represented Woodward Sports to some extent.
Hell yeah. Just as long as you're having fun. That's the only thing that matters. No Tom Mazaway today. He is back on the East Coast with his family in Jersey with a family event. But I want, before we get going today, shout out to Parker, JB, Brady over here, and intern Alex. His last day today. At the end of the show, we're going to talk a little Michigan football with him. We'll bring him up here. How about that?
We'd love to do that. Since we're sending shout out to Mark White and Associates. Yesterday, they were also at 5-iron golf. Great to finally meet those guys. Look forward to working with them, as well as Jason from 5-iron golf, as well as Long Drink, who was there. That's a mouthful. Ryan, something interesting happened last night. You know, you're familiar with Cameo.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so you understand, for those of you that aren't familiar with Cameo, Cameo is an app you get on your phone. Once they clear you, you have the right to make money. Basically, people will hit you up and say, hey, Ryan Ermanni, we watch you on Fox 2 in the morning. We would love if you could send a congratulations out to our daughter for getting married. Along those lines, happy birthday. Could you say that, Braylon Edwards, since my father's a Michigan fan? So I got one yesterday, Ryan, and it almost made me cry.
Uh-oh.
You ready for this?
Yep.
I'm reading it, and you know how you get the instructions on what they want you to say. This is what they wanted me to say. From Will for Ahmed, okay? 8th grade, you a D Jesuit. The teacher asked you what you wanted to be when you grow up. You said in the NFL. Ahmed turned around and said to you, the chances of you making the NFL are slim to none. Do you remember what you said, Braylon? I said, hell yeah. In my mind, I know what I did. And he said, can you say happy birthday, Ahmed, in your face?
No way.
So, Will, I appreciate that message. That means a lot to me. You know, a lot of people try to follow their dreams, and you fall just short, but I was able to achieve them with a lot of people around me. But I'm in your face.
In your face.
In your face.
Or as Akeem says in the movie Coming to America, in the face.
In the face.
In the face.
In the face. So I thought you would love that, man. That was pretty special.
Awesome job, man. No doubt. Hey, it's game night.
It is.
Lions and Giants from Ford Field tonight. It is preseason game number 1. Before we get into that, there was news today on a contract extension. Braylon Edwards, I want your comments on this. Khalif Raymond got a 2-year contract extension. It makes him one of the highest paid punt returners in the NFL. I say money well spent. This is a guy that provides depth. He's a weapon offensively, and he absolutely is a guy that has earned the money that he's gotten. 2 years, one of the highest paid punt returners in the game.
You know, my big thing, as I was telling you, is I've been watching Winning Time on HBO. It's come back out again. And one of the big reasons why the Lakers were able to build the dynasty that they did in the 80s, that extended to the end of the 80s, the early 90s, and losing to Jordan in 90-91, is Jerry Buss, Dr. Jerry Buss, rest in peace, he got ahead of the curve in terms of paying his players. He knew the nucleus he wanted, so he paid guys ahead of time so they didn't get to free agency, so they couldn't leave. Khalif Raymond is a guy that not only is one of those unsung heroes with the Detroit Lions, he's a damn good punt returner, he's a damn good special teams player, but he's also a guy that gets busy when they give him opportunities at the wide receiver position. So if you know this is the case, and this is going to be a year where a lot of teams are watching, and a lot of GMs are going to be watching the Detroit Lions and their players, a lot of guys are going to try to poach these players that become available at the end of the season. So now you shore them up, and it's going to cost you less now than when teams are coming knocking in, January and March of 2024.
And, one of the things about Khalif Raymond, too, is he's not the sexiest guy in the world. Like, you say his name and teams aren't game planning against him.
Right.
He's not the guy that you look at the Lions roster, you look at the offensive weapons, and you're a defensive coordinator, and we say, we got to stop that guy.
Yeah.
He's not that, but he is a guy that can beat you. He is a guy that can absolutely get after it offensively. He's a guy that does everything that you ask him to do. He runs routes well. He catches the ball well. He plays special teams. That's a team guy. One of those glue guys when things seem to maybe you got a wide receiver out here, some injury here. This guy's not playing. That guy's not playing. Khalif Raymond always seems like he is right there, ready to do the dirty work when called upon.
Yeah, here's a guy for you. This is the guy that comes to mind when you think about it, and it's funny. He's a guy that also passed through the Detroit Lions. You remember a name, Oz Hakeem? Oz Hakeem was with the St. Louis Rams, the greatest show on turf. He was a punt returner for them, a kick returner. He also played some wide receiver in there, and he did a lot of things for that St. Louis Rams team when they won the Super Bowl. Detroit Lions saw that. They poached him from the Detroit Lions, and, I'm not saying he's the reason they didn't win when they went back, and they lost to the Patriots the very next year. But he's one of those players that the Lions saw that he was really good with the St. Louis Rams. He's probably an unsung type of guy. They gave him the value he came here. The Lions this time, they don't want to be the team that lets a guy like Khalif Raymond, who reminds me of Oz Hakeem, they don't want to let him get away. So you pay him now. And it's going to cost you less now than it will cost you in a year.
Braylon, first chance we're going to get to see these guys tonight, 2023 Detroit Lions on the field in an NFL game, albeit a preseason game. It is the first look at these guys. I know they had practice with the New York Giants this week, and a lot of different guys and a lot of starters got some work in. We still do not know what the plan is publicly anyway. I know Dan Campbell obviously knows,
right.
But the public doesn't know what is going to happen tonight, if the starters are going to play, if the starters are not going to play. Do you get a series? Last year, Jared Goff played one series. I believe it was like a 10-minute long touchdown drive, actually.
It was.
In the first game of the preseason, and then none of the starters played in week 2 of the preseason. Will that be the case this time around as well? We just don't know what to expect.
Yeah, we don't know what to expect. I can see it going either way. I can see the Stars not playing at all. And people say, well, why wouldn't the Stars play considering they didn't make the playoffs last year? They're trying to make that happen this year. Well, you believe in the team and the way it's orchestrated. You like the offensive line. That's going to be our strength, the running game. You saw what we were able to do last year with Jamal Williams and DeAndre Swift, and we're upgraded this year. It's going to be better this year. Jared Goff, we saw what he did last year, quarterback. You don't need to see him on the field. That could go one way, but I think this is the way to go. Dan Campbell's a former player that likes to see his guys play football. He doesn't have to have them out there very long, but this team is a young team. This isn't a team that's a very good team that's a lot of guys in year 7, year 8, year 9, where you don't need to see those guys. You understand they've been together a while. This is 2 new running backs into a new offensive system. You got a new wide receiver and a new tight end into a new offensive system. On defense, a lot of young guys, but a lot of new guys coming into the system as well. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, we know you were a Pro Bowl, all-pro safety last year, but at the same time, we want to see you on the field talking to Brian Branch, talking to Kirby Joseph. These guys probably won't play more than a series each. Ryan, 1 on defense for the starters, 1 on defense, 1 on offense for the starters. But you still want to see him on the field, and I think Dan Campbell would be pissed at himself if he didn't at least play them a series apiece.
One of the things about preseason and games is injuries. Yeah. But if there's one thing you cannot do tonight or at any point throughout the preseason, you cannot play scared.
Yeah.
You just can't do it. When you start playing scared, when you start coaching scared, that's when guys get hurt. And if the plan is not to play these guys because you know what they can do, they have performed extremely well in practice and this week against the New York Giants, and you're totally comfortable with the progress of the preseason as it sits right now, you want to keep them out, keep them out. But if you're just not playing because you don't want to get guys injured, I'm not for that.
Football, like boxing, like hockey, like MMA, they're called full contact sports. At the end of the day, it comes with the territory. You know what you signed up for, coaches and players. So you know you signed up for full contact sports. Go out there and let it play the game. The day you start getting scared, so, oh, man, I don't want a guy to get hurt, then that's when guys get hurt. So you go out there, you let guys play a series. You let guys have at it. No matter what the series is, no matter what the series brings, let them have that series. Let them get a feel of being in the huddle together in Ford Field with the noise, with the crowd, everybody hearing the call from Jared Goff, how it's going to sound when they come back in 3 weeks against the Falcons. You want to get the dress rehearsal. You want everybody. That's the main thing. It's also necessarily about on the field. It's just the dress rehearsal of everything. Coaches getting plays, Nate Sussfield being the backup quarterback, him getting the plays into Jared Goff. All those little things count, and all you need to see it is once.
Oh, yeah, and whether you need to see it once, twice, or not at all, I guess I'll leave that up to Dan Campbell, and I won't have a feeling about it one way or the other. But I will say this: last year, this football team was 1-6.
Yeah.
The season did not start in Week 8. The season starts in Week 1. What happens in the first week of the season, what happens in the first month of the season, what happens in the first 6 weeks of that all counts. You just can't be good at the end of the year. And 2 years ago, Dan Campbell's first year, we saw this football team be miserable out of the gates too. Now, I know this is a completely different roster. This is a completely different set of circumstances and all that, but they were really good. Excuse me. Let me check that. They were good. They were better in the second half of year one under Dan Campbell. Last year, they were really good in the second half under Dan Campbell. But you just can't start the season in Week 8, Bray. You got to get going from the jump. And I understand they play Kansas City, and nobody outside of maybe us right here or me right here, because I don't even think you think they're going to beat the Chiefs, but nobody outside of maybe 10% of the fan base believe that they can go in and beat Kansas City, and maybe they can't. But they have to go out there and be ready to play these regular season games. And, again, if playing in the preseason will help them do that, then I'm all for it.
Man, this is a tight parking lot, man. You got to watch out. People seem like they're already about to hit another car, but you're absolutely right. And the good thing is I think they know that, Ryan. I think they know they can't start like they did last year. They can't start like they did in 2021 because if you look at it even from just an offensive point of view early on in the year, offense was good last year. In the first 2-3 games, offense was good. They were putting up points. They were leading the league in scoring at the clip of 36 points a game. They were doing well on offense. They understood that, but then the defense understood how they played affected those first 6 games. So I think they have a clue as to what it's going to take to be a team. You can't start off. You can't come out here 0-2. You know, you're talking about the gauntlet that'll be the end of the season, and then you start factoring in, once Jameson comes back. Like, you don't want when he comes back, we're like, okay, cool, now he's back. Now we can start rocking and rolling on offense. You want to get going from jump. But I think that's what they know. Like, I haven't heard anything to suggest that Dan Campbell, that Jared Goff, the offense for the Detroit Lions, Aaron Glenn, the defense, I haven't heard anything that says that they're waiting for the end to make that push. I think they're coming out ready.
And let's continue to talk about that. Who do you want to see tonight? Is there a guy out there? Is there 2 guys? What would you like to see in the game tonight? Even not the starters. How's that grilled cheese, Bray? They got bacon on there?
So I was waiting. I didn't want to be rude.
Oh, man.
So this is the cheese wagon.
Oh, man, the cheese wagon.
I believe. And this is called
That's the cheese wagon.
I try to point it out.
They're ham and
really work.
No,
you got to point the other direction. There you go. There you go.
They're grilled cheeses, and this is the OG.
Is that Tracy Walker?
It was the OG for OG. Effing. This isn't bad at all, man. I'm cheating on my diet.
I love it. I love it. Go Lions. Guys, we're going to take a break. When we come back, what do you want to see tonight? There is one player that is expected to get a lot of playing time tonight. It is the wide receiver, Jameson Williams. What Braylon's expectations for him are tonight, we'll do that. But first, a message from Dispo.
Man, first right out the box, Dispo, you know what time it is. We're here at 12 locations around the state of Michigan, and it is amazing. They are your local plug. Currently, we're at the Hazel Park 1 having a good time. The best thing about Dispo is not all the best brands. It's not the designs. It's not the catchy logos. It's not even the DJ that they always have popping on Fridays. It's the people. The people make Dispo go around. Look, man, they are your local plug. So sign up. Over 12 locations around the state of Michigan.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit.
But we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports. Make sure it's seen and heard.
Corner, jumper, Allen!
Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
How would you like to see famous athletes like Jim Harbaugh, Darren McCarty, and Braylon Edwards play golf with average Joes? Thanks to the Randy Wise Automotive and Woodward Sports, you will be able to do just that. It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. Make the wise choice and pay attention to Woodward Sports for more information.
Live from Dispo in Hazel Park. I want to thank Darren Dabish and Sean Dabish here at Dispo for having us out.
Can you hear me?
Now I can a little bit.
I thought that was Mike Tyson that read that.
Oh, man. Iron Mike, the GOAT. No doubt. Braylon, we're talking about Lions tonight. One of the guys that is expected to get a lot of playing time is Jameson Williams. And look, everybody wants to see this guy out there. This is his only opportunity, in the preseason, I should say. Weeks 1, 2, and 3, he will probably get some significant game action throughout the 3 games of the preseason because we won't see him much for the first 6 weeks of the regular season out with a gambling suspension. However we feel about that in terms of the NFL is neither here nor there. He's not going to play. So this is a guy that's going to get some work. What do you want to see out of number 9 tonight?
It's so funny. I feel like every other comment nowadays is about gambling somehow.
Oh, man. Phil and everything, man.
Exactly, 100%. Shout out to Phil the GOAT, $1 billion under management.
Legend.
You know what I want to see? I want to see how he approaches the game. Okay, because that's going to be the key. That we know that he won't be able to play starting the first 6 weeks of the season. You want to see how focused is he when he's on the field. Like how dialed is he when he's in the huddle? How dialed is he on the sideline when he's talking to the quarterbacks about what they just saw on the previous drive? How focused is he? How does his routes look? How is he catching the passes? I want to see how focused is he, because the biggest problem, not the biggest problem, but the biggest thing is when you're sitting out for 6 weeks or 4 weeks or you have time, a lot of times it's easy to start lacking off. It's easy to not take the game serious. It's easy to get distant with the game because it happens. You want to play. And that's just a human thing. It has nothing to do with Jameson Williams to the next guy. It's just a human thing. So I want to see how focused is he from the time that he starts warming up to the time that they come out, to the time that he's in the huddle, to the time that they're doing 2-minute drill. How focused is he on the game? It's going to tell me where his mind is going into the 6-game suspension.
And I think any assessment of Jameson Williams is going to be a little unfair, no matter what he does tonight, because most likely the quarterback that he's going to be playing with is Nate Sudfeld, who I'm not sure will be on an NFL roster when the season starts. Don't know. Maybe he'll be a third stringer somewhere, or maybe he will be a backup. I don't know. I don't want to sell the guy short. He's been in the league for a few years, but nonetheless, he's not Jared Goff, and he's not a starter in this league. He's just not. So will passes be on the money like they probably would if Jared Goff was the quarterback? Would they have the same reads? If there's some audibles at the line, will they be on the same page? We just don't know. So I feel like any assessment of Williams is going to be a little bit unfair. I guess I'd like to see him have some separation with the guy that's defending him. Yeah. Whether you can get him the football or not is yet to be determined. But at least you can tell, oh yeah, this guy's getting a separation. This guy's dominating, a second or a third stringer for the Giants. I'd like to see that. Yeah. But again, and I'd like to see him get better from week 1 to week 2, week 2 to week 3.
One of the biggest things they tell you in life, and this has nothing to do with football, this is anything, is control what you can control. So what I'm watching, my focus on Jameson Williams throughout the preseason and tonight, I'm not watching in terms of something that happens with Nate Sudfeld or because of Nate Sudfeld, or he has to be a part of this for me to grade with Jameson Williams. I'm talking about when he's on the sideline, is he eating sunflower seeds and cracking jokes with the defense? Like, is he over there having conversations with players that aren't involved with his next play or what's going to happen on the offense? When he's in the game, is he lollygagging, talking to cats for the New York Giants? Like, man, that was a good one. You almost had me on that, or having conversations and things like that. I want to see him dialed in. Don't care anything about Nate Sudfeld. I don't care where the passes are. I want to make sure the ones that come close to him, he catches. When he's in the huddle, he's listening. He's dialed in. I want to make sure he's not having not miscommunications, but MAs. MAs when missed assignments, which means you lined up on the wrong side. You lined up when you're supposed to be on the ball and you're off the ball. You were supposed to go to the left, you went to the right. It was supposed to be an adjustment in cover 2. You were supposed to take it to a go route, but you kept it on the hitch. I want to see those things. I'm watching him. I'm not watching Nate Sudfeld, so I can see if he's focused in.
And one of the things I'd also like to see is him never leave Antwaan Randle L's side.
100%.
Just forget about your teammates. Forget about everybody else. Stand right next to Lions wide receiver coach Antwaan Randle L and soak up every piece of information that you can from somebody that's been there and done that for year in and year out of his own playing career.
It's great you brought that up. Yesterday, guess who was on the field before practice started, before Amon-Ra St. Brown? It was Jameson Williams and Antwaan Randle L. Those guys are working. That's the type. Ryan, that's a hell of a call. That's the stuff you like to see. And the good thing about it is it's not just a guy. You're talking about Antwaan Randle L. You're talking about a guy that could have been Super Bowl MVP, a guy that's thrown a touchdown to MVP. He has over 600 catches in the NFL. He has over 30 touchdowns in the NFL. He's one of the best Big Ten players of all time. And Antwaan Randle L. Listen to this guy. And it seems that Jameson Williams is doing that. Like being on the field before everybody yesterday, that takes a lot, man, and I'm glad to see that. And, Ryan, you're right. I would not leave his side the whole game.
So I'm sure regardless what happens tonight, Jameson Williams is going to be a big conversation because he seems like and is a bit of an enigma. You know what I mean? We just don't know what we don't know. We think we know with this guy. We want to know and believe that this guy is going to be everything, and that is the expectation. We just have not seen it for our own eyes outside of one play.
The reason why we're focusing so much on Jameson Williams, it makes sense. Nowadays in the NFL, it is the quarterback and the wide receiver. They're the most valuable pieces on offense. Maybe the most valuable pieces in the entire NFL is that. When you mention, who are we always talking about? Stephon Diggs, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, A.J. Brown, Devontae Adams. These are all wide receivers. Like Jordan Addison, we're talking about what he's going to do this year. Seattle Seahawks got better because they added Jackson Smith and Jigba to what they have. Ryan, 5 teams last year had double-digit 1,000-yard receivers. All 5 teams went to the playoffs. So the reason why we're so excited because Jameson, he's an Alabama wideout. We saw what he did in the national championship. We see what he did when we put him in there for a brief glimpse last year. You have every right to be excited and want to know what the hell is he doing, and he's the guy. He's the guy that's going to make our offense, we believe, even better than it was last year. And last year was one of the best in the NFL. He's the missing piece, we believe. That's why we put so much focus on him.
And as far as what we will see tonight, and again, Dan Campbell has not publicly come out and said what the plan is for the starters. Last year, Jared Goff and the starters played 1 offensive series, scored a touchdown, and got out of there. But last night, 2 games were played last night in the preseason. No Geno Smith, no Kirk Cousins in the night game, and then no Mac Jones in the early game. C.J. Stroud did play, rookie quarterback, getting his first NFL action outside of the rookie. The other 3 starting quarterbacks of the other 3 teams that were in action last night did not play. So if you take that as an indication, we probably will not see Jared Goff.
Yeah, we probably won't see Jared Goff. I mean, because you're looking at the quarterbacks that you named. Geno Smith, guy that won Comeback Player of the Year last year and led the league in QBR. Kirk Cousins is Mr. Consistency. He's going to do the same things every year at a high level at the quarterback position. Those are guys that you don't want to get hurt, and that seems to be the theme so far early on in the NFL. Will we see Justin Fields tonight? That remains to be seen. I want to know about that. But for Jared Goff, if I'm Dan Campbell, I don't need to see him in the game. Like, it's just me. I don't need to see him in the game. But I understand where Dan Campbell comes from. I understand what Campbell's thought process is. Right now, the value of the quarterback, the value of these guys in terms of having a guy that you believe can get you to the Super Bowl. But not only there, once he's there, operate at a high level, man, it's only about 12 of those guys, and then maybe 9, and Jared Goff is one of them. So if they didn't play him, that would be the move for me.
What about, and I'm calling him the Fresh Five, okay, because the Fab Five is taken, but the Fresh Five draft picks this year. I'm talking Jahmyr Gibbs, Jack Campbell, Sam Laporta, Brian Branch, and Broderick Martin. Will we see those guys tonight? How much will we see these rookies play? Because I do think it's important for the rookies who are all 5 of those guys I just mentioned, Braylon, were on the Lions' initial depth chart that they put out on Monday or Tuesday, I believe. Those guys are second-string guys. Those guys are trying to win starting spots.
Yeah, you got to play those guys, and it's twofold. One, it's me being the old NFL mentality. You can't have rookies come in and not play. You can't have them think they're already at a level where they don't deserve to play in the preseason. You got to let those guys know. You got to do your dues just like everybody else. Now, I'm not saying go ham and have them play all 3 games, but it's good mentality for them to have. The second thing is these guys are young, and they're going to play a lot of games for you this year. A lot of these guys are going to start from day 1. A lot of these guys will be in that starting lineup, maybe day 2. So you want those guys, once again, to get that full game experience, coming out, getting on the field, getting the huddle in front of the crowd, and with the ones, going against the ones and things of that nature. You want them to get that feel. You can't get that feel in the first game. Now, you can't wait for the first game to come and you're looking around and you're staring like, this is the NFL, and I don't care how good you think you are. That'll be what you have. If you don't, at least go through the dress rehearsal motions of a couple plays, couple series or something like that in the preseason. You got to at least do something.
And again, the game tonight is at Ford Field. Tickets still available for that one if you want to head on down to the box office. Also, it is on Fox 2 Detroit. If you're local here in the Detroit area, it's on Fox 2 on TV. They are also streaming that game. So if you're out of market, download the Fox 2 News app. They're streaming the preseason games this year. Fox 2 News will play the Lions game tonight, or if you have a Roku and Amazon or an Apple TV, Fire Stick, if you download Fox Local and go to Fox 2 Detroit from that Fox Local app, which has all the owned and affiliated Fox networks from each of the local areas, go to Fox 2 Detroit, and they will be showing the game tonight as well. So if you want more information on that, fox2detroit.com has information on how you can stream it. I also put that on my Twitter page, my X page, if you will. Just go to my timeline and you can see information on how to watch the Lions game tonight. If you are watching from a different state, you'll be able to do that tonight on Fox 2.
Very detailed way on how to watch the Detroit Lions tonight. Thanks, Ryan. I think another thing that came up is when you play in that next level, Ryan, where you're going from NCAA to college, or you're going from high school or MHSAA to college, if you're a wide receiver, you're waiting to catch your first big play and you're waiting to get hit. If you're a defensive player, you're waiting to hit somebody. Until that contact happens, until that play happens, it's like that switch doesn't switch on. That transition does not happen. You don't leave the college ranks. So for these players right now, it's good for them to get in that first game. Jack Campbell go out there and lay somebody out, get that first big hit, or get a big lineman come at him and, get a good block, drive him to the ground. Wide receiver, running back, Jahmyr Gibbs, it'd be good for him to take his first pass protection and see what it means to pass pro in the NFL. Once you get past that, I remember I got hit. First preseason game, it was against the Detroit Lions, and I got smacked. But it felt good. I said, all right, cool. That wasn't too bad. That wasn't harder than Ohio State. That wasn't harder than, insert school here, Michigan State. So that's what the other moments you need. You don't want that first moment to be in game 1 of the NFL season against the Kansas City Chiefs in Arrowhead at 8:15 on Thursday. You want that to happen in preseason so you can already have transition.
Each and every preseason there's a darling. There's an individual darling that you look for. At one point it was Tom Kennedy. Everybody loved Tom Kennedy. Another point is Dan Skipper. Everybody loved Dan Skipper. I'll tell you who that darling is to me tonight, who I will be glued to see and who I hope to make the team. We'll tell you who that is coming up next. We are live from Dispo in Hazel Park. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. They're your local security experts and have been for over 90 years. When you see this black and yellow sign out in front of your house, it tells the bad guys one thing.
Stay out.
Whether you are at home or on the road, they're 24/7 professional monitoring, customized solutions from real experts, and technology backed by people means you are backed by the best. Call this number right here, 1-800.
Stay out.
That number again, 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Stay out.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America.
Woodward Sports,
The first sports network born in Detroit.
and made for Detroit.
Hey, it's Sean Jordan from the Sports Marketing Agency, and SMA wouldn't be who we are without our amazing partners.
Thank you so much, Sean. You know, at Detroit Wayne, we want to serve as a resource for you and your families. We offer mental health services, substance use disorder services throughout our communities, and we want to be that source and resource within the community.
If you or a loved one are suffering from a mental health or substance abuse issue, please don't hesitate to call 1-800-241-4949.
Hey, this is Mr. Kearney, Chief Academic Officer, Academy Warren. I want to welcome you to the brand new field house. The state-of-the-art facility has a regulation basketball court, volleyball court, soccer field. It can be used for 7-on-7 football. Our K-8 academic features AM, PM, latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Holton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, K-8 athletics, and more. Enroll today at academywarren.net.
We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports.
Either way, the heavyweights are here.
Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
How would you like to win a $100,000 Vegas getaway? Take your closest friends and live it up in the city that never sleeps. It's the Cintron Energy. Drink it and live it. Purchase a 24-pack today and enter to win that $100,000 Vegas getaway at drinkcintron.com/Vegas. And buy your Cintron at your local Meijer. Cintron, the healthier energy drink with great taste and the choice of people who desire to look good, feel great, and be the best versions of themselves. drinkcintron.com/Vegas.
Live from Hazel Park, we are at Dispo, one of 12 locations for Dispo. Great partners for us here at Woodward Sports. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon Edwards, Tom Mazaway out today. We got JB, we got Parker, and intern Alex, his final day with us today. We'll bring him up towards the end of the show, talk a little Michigan football. He's a student at the University of Michigan, expecting big things from the Wolverines this year. Braylon Edwards, before we get into tonight, do you remember your first NFL action? And I'm talking preseason action. The first time you got a taste of NFL game action, preseason.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. I can't make this stuff up. It was here.
Really?
It's Ford Field. Ford Field. Check the schedules. Cleveland Browns, 2005. Preseason schedule. They played the Giants first, but I signed my contract on the day the game was. So they didn't let me play in that game. So the very next game was the Detroit Lions, followed by the Carolina Panthers, and then the Chicago Bears. Tell me if I'm right. My man, 100%. So it was fun. It was emotionally charged. I mean, I'm born and raised in Detroit. I had over 50 people at the game. It was amazing. Cleveland showed a lot of love in terms of, trying to get me in the game and make plays. I caught 3 passes. I had one in my hand over the middle that I jumped over the safety and should have came down with, but he came down with the interception. It was like a reverse Moss, if you will. But I got him back because game-winning touchdown was a fade route, right corner of the end zone, touchdown for the win.
Get out of here.
Swear to God,
oh, my
touchdown
gosh. I don't remember that. That's so awesome.
Touchdown for the win.
Hey, do you have to buy tickets or they just give them to you? Or do you got 50?
No, you buy them.
You do?
Yeah, you buy them. They give you a discount to a certain month. Then you get to a certain number. It's like, all right, we did as best as we can, and you
my gosh,
work things out. But,
that's so cool.
Yeah, when you come home, it doesn't matter at that point. You're buying all the tickets.
Braylon, there is a preseason guy that everybody has, right? I mean, there's that guy that you want to make the team. For a couple of years, it's been Tom Kennedy. Dan Skipper seemed like he was a darling last year throughout Hard Knocks. This year, it is unquestionable that it is Dylan Drummond, the wide receiver from Eastern Michigan University. Detroit Lions fan report came out with a tweet. It's a really good tweet. Rookie Dylan Drummond has the opportunity of a lifetime this preseason. One offer coming out of high school. was Eastern Michigan. One NFL tryout, the Detroit Lions. Earlier this week, Drummond beat Cam Sutton for a touchdown in the Lions-controlled scrimmage last week. Dylan Drummond, by all accounts, Braylon Edwards, has become that guy this year. You can't see a story, a day doesn't go by that you don't see some sort of Dylan Drummond love from somebody who's at practice, watching him work, watching him approach the game, making plays out there, and that's the most important thing. He has been making plays all preseason long.
The first thing where you start is that the fan, which is the everyday man, the everyday woman, the everyday insert here. When you go undrafted, you become the average man. You become the average fan. You become the average woman that is a fan. Like, you become that person. So they vibe with that. Like, when they see the person that's not drafted, they instantly connect with that person. Like, man, that could be one of us. It could be Vince Papale with the Eagles back in the day with the Invincible movie. So when you see an undrafted guy, you immediately gravitate towards him. That's one. Thing two, all these guys can play. Like, these guys that are undrafted, they can play ball. So the guy that you have fallen in love with, it's still a guy that was probably all conference, probably led the MAC, probably led, insert small conference here. But when you see a guy that, as an average fan, you connect with, you want to see him do well. When he's balling, when he's out there killing it too, you're like, not only am I supporting this guy because that's the guy we can be, he's out here killing it too. He's out here saucing DBs that are pegged to be all-pro. He's out here saucing safeties that are all-pro last year. He's showing you that he's fearless, because one thing about it, Ryan Ermanni, people that are ready for the moment, man, they take it no matter where they are, no matter where they're drafted, whatever. They take hold of the moment. I think right now you're seeing the guy in Dylan Drummond that is taking hold of the moment. He's like, hey, look, Jamison Williams out till week 6. He's like, man, Marvin Jones, they just brought him back. This is Amon-Ra St. Brown's team. Outside of that, who said I couldn't be 2? Who said I couldn't be 3? He's playing by that metric, which is, I don't care what they tell me my number on the depth chart is. I'll go create number 2 for myself. You got to love watching him.
One of the things about him too, Bray, is
down the street.
Well, it is down the street, but for whether it's Dylan Drummond or anybody else that will get an opportunity to play tonight or throughout this preseason, you may not make the Lions roster.
Yeah.
The numbers just might not be there for Detroit. But everything that you put on tape, 31 other teams are going to get a chance to see. So it may, hopefully it does work out here in Detroit. But if it doesn't, you still go play your tail off, make plays, and you make your case for the other 31 teams that may need a wide receiver.
One of the biggest things about it, too, and Ryan, you talk about all this time, is, this is just like any other job. Like, once you start working, you leave a reputation. Once you start working for people now they have a reputation on you. This is what they say. The next person to ask about you as a person, how was that person? How was he as a worker? What was it? What were his morals? What were his work habits? What was his work ethic like? They're gonna ask these questions, and if you're an individual, you came to work on time. You were positive. You did the little things. You had bad days, but you came back with good days. If you were, just little things, people want that guy on the team. People want that guy on the law team. People want that guy in your hospital, in your ER. People want that guy to work in Woodward Sports, sit side by side. So I think that's the key too, is looking at this. It's a business in where you're always showing who you are, because you're always auditioning. And just like, matter of fact, last year, what was the wide receiver that he dropped a couple passes?
Yes, he plays for the Giants.
Pimpleton. People saw that. And then what happened before it was all said and done with him? He was already in New York playing for the Giants before that season started. So you're always auditioning. That's what you got to remember.
And, if the Lions keep 6 wide receivers, okay? 5 of them I'll say, I'm just for argument's sake,
are spoken for.
Khalif Raymond, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Marvin Jones, Josh Reynolds, Denzel Mims.
Okay.
Just for argument's sake. With J-Mo out, now if J-Mo was in, then – there's your 6, and you're competing for a spot with Mims probably, or Reynolds, somebody like that. Now, if there's that spot open up, you are competing for one spot with Maurice Alexander, Trinity Benson, Chase Cota, Antoine Green, the 7th-round pick, who Dan Campbell said has been inconsistent, Trey Quinn. You got to like your odds, man.
You got to like your eyes, but also I got to tell you like this, just the mentality that Dylan Drummond has to approach, he's not competing against those other guys. Like, the way you tell your mind is, I'm competing against Amon-Ra St. Brown. I'm competing against Marvin Jones Sr. I'm competing against Jamison Williams. I'm competing against Denzel Mims. That's who his mind has to tell him he's competing against. Because once you tell yourself you're competing against the other guys that are fighting for that last spot, you're looking at them. You got to be looking at greatness. You got to be looking at the guys that are the guys. You got to be looking at that. And if he keeps doing that, which it seems like he's doing, he's not worrying about who he's competing against, man. Like, the other thing about these guys undrafted, why the fans fall in love with them too, is because, Ryan, when these guys make the team, the fans feel like they had something to do with that. And it's true. When the fans get a guy and they cheer for him and he's making plays and he's playing to the crowd in preseason and he's coming over signing autographs in training camp and things like that, when that guy makes the team, it makes people feel good because they know him, they're right. They helped get him drafted. Well, get him signed.
And not only that, but it makes him feel good too because, most people consider themselves the little guy, right?
This is true.
When a guy like Dylan Drummond makes it, it's almost like one of us made it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? All the work that we put in, we might not get our shot.
Yeah.
But here's our guy. This guy is, synonymous, or it's like a metaphor. This guy got his shot. See what happens when you give the little guy a shot? They can perform too. If he can make it, I can make it. I mean, I know it's like a little bit of a Hollywood script, a little bit of a romanticized story, but that's why Rocky resonated with so many people in the 70s and 80s and 90s and still today, because you see yourself as the little guy that if you just give me the opportunity, I can prove that I belong. I love this story, Dylan Drummond.
There's a word for the little guy. Maz uses it all the time. In fact, he uses romanticize. In fact, this is who Maz loves above all, the underdog. It's the underdog, the undrafted guy, the guy that nobody's paying attention to. He's the underdog. Everybody falls in love with the underdog. As much as I tell Maz, I'm so tired of the NCAA tournament, I don't want 12 teams because I don't like the underdog. If there's a good underdog story on Ryan Ermanni, I'm locked and loaded, and I'm watching it. Everybody loves the underdog.
How important is winning tonight?
It's
like actual final score at the end of the game. Is it important?
No, it's not. It's how they play. It's how they played in between the hashes. Like, did it look crisp? Like, it's to me, did the offense look crisp? Did the defense look crisp? Were they getting 5 guys to the tackle? Special teams, were you coming out? Did special teams know where they were supposed to be? Were they lined up? Did somebody have to go get the left gunner at the last second? Field goals, how are the field goals going? It's been a big issue for the Detroit Lions for the last 3 years. It looks like we got a little better, but that's been an issue as well. What the field goals look like? All you really want to see is crispness. Like crispness. And if the Lions lose, 20, now if the Lions get blown out 45-5, that's a problem. That's a problem.
Then they're not as deep as we think.
Exactly. We're in some deep, you know what.
Then we're not as deep as they think they're.
But you just want to see crispness.
The Lions are an underdog tonight. And, look, you just go as whether you're playing a game tonight or just look at the backup quarterback. Tyrod Taylor is going to be the starter tonight, most likely.
He can start on half the teams in the NFL.
At least
8 of them. 8. Okay, I agree.
At least 8
I went a little far with
right, yeah, but at least 8 of them. I'm sure the Washington Commanders wouldn't mind him. Maybe they like Sam
I'd take
Howell,
him over C.J. Stroud this year.
Right now, no doubt, right? So, again, and everybody will point out, the Lions were 4-0 in the preseason and went 0-16 that year, so winning does not matter. Just come out healthy. Braylon, I'd like to debut a new segment with you next if I can.
All right.
It's called Hot or Not.
Now, are we talking about females? Because we can't do that anymore.
It is not about females. It is about NFL head coaches. We'll do that next. But first, a message from Big Boy.
Strawberry Fest is back at Big Boy. Try their classic breakfast items like strawberry hot cakes or mouth-watering red velvet waffle. If you're not feeling breakfast, try their strawberry chicken wrap. Or cool off with a refreshing summer splash salad. And don't forget to grab dessert, including their berry delicious classic strawberry pie, deep-fried vanilla Oreos.
Strawberry pie!
Yeah, that's my favorite. Or strawberry hot fudge cake. And you can even get a Big Boy at your local Big Boy.
That rookie, he is something else. How big is that?
All of Detroit sports teams live on Woodward.
All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports.
Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter for your chance to win not one, but 2 vehicles of your choice, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. That's right, 2 cars, one for you, one for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime, sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Let one of our talented, award-winning stylists make you look handsome and clean. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports. Thank you to all the fans for making Woodward Sports your #1 online destination for Detroit sports. We promise not to drop the ball.
Hey, gang, your childhood may be over, but playtime is not. Outdoor Equipment Company is your source for outdoor power equipment, sales, service, parts, carrying the top brands such as Bad Boy, LS Tractor, Steel, and more. They service the Great Lakes region with locations in Metro Detroit and Greater Lansing. For more information, visit that website above my head right now, OutdoorEquipCo.com, OutdoorEquipCo.com, your power equipment playground.
Something funny always happens when that dang commercial comes up.
Oh, man, I'm
Like,
telling you.
Every time that big kid part comes, is my truck on? I'm joking.
Subscribe to Woodward Sports, our YouTube channel. Coming up, let's see if we can get to 50,000 subscribers in the next month. We need less than 4,000 subscribers for 50,000.
Kevin Owens.
Maybe everybody listening right now, grab our YouTube page and maybe share it on social media with your friends. Let's see if we can get to 50,000 subscribers by the time the Lions and Chiefs play in week 1 of the NFL season. We believe we have the best NFL coverage, the best Lions coverage. There's some other people out there that might have a 30-year head start on us, but we are going to give you the best coverage we possibly can, and that's why we think you chose and choose a Woodward Sports Network, the Ermanni and Edwards with Maz program.
It's the new day in the game, man. It's just for the young folks, man.
Absolutely.
Young folks. TikTok over Facebook.
No doubt. Absolutely. WoodwardSports.com as well for all the latest news, articles, updates, show clips, and merchandise. Braylon Edwards, I'd like to debut a new game.
Okay.
I thought of it myself.
Oh,
okay?
Okay. I see you, innovator.
Here is what we're going to do. It's called Hot or Not.
Ooh, look at the graphics.
Hot or Not, okay?
Okay.
And,
graphics are hot.
And what we're going to do, it's Hot or Not NFL Coaches Edition, okay? So I'm going to name for you the head coach.
Okay.
You tell me if this coach is on the hot seat or not.
Okay, bet.
Is this coach on the hot seat or not? I don't know if you got a little jingle. You got any jingles, or we're on the road here. A little something to spice up. JB's got them all. Look at this guy. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That feels good.
Feels good.
Does that feel good for you, Braylon?
Friday feel good.
Does that feel good for you guys in the chat?
Good.
All right, here we go. Are you ready? Coach number 1 in Hot or Not is Matt Eberflus of the Chicago Bears on the hot seat or not?
He is not. I do not believe he's on the hot seat. It may look like that, but I don't think he's on the hot seat. He and Ryan Poles are building something there in Chicago. I don't think he's on the hot seat.
All right.
It's also not his quarterback, too.
It is not his quarterback.
No.
All right, Braylon Edwards, head coach number 2. Let's go down to Tampa Bay. Is Todd Bowles on the hot seat or not?
And Todd Bowles is on the fired seat. Like, this is just what you call this is going through the motions. Todd Bowles won't be the quarterback of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers next year, and he probably won't make it through this year. Yes, he is on the muy caliente, muy en fuego seat.
All right, so we got 1 and 1 right now. Okay, head coach number 3. Let's go to Washington.
What we got?
Ron Rivera. Is Ron Rivera on the hot seat or not?
You see, I jumped the gun. I was so ready to say he's on the hot seat. Yeah, he's on the hot seat. I mean, I think I want to say he's been in the playoffs once in the last 5 years, and he snuck in with Taylor Heineke. He's on the hot seat, and everything that comes out of his mouth, he just puts himself further and further and further in the corner. He is definitely on the hot seat.
Put the camera on my man back here. You say hot or not? Hot or
knows.
not? Not on the hot seat.
Ron Rivera's not on the hot seat. You do realize they just bought a new. They do have a new owner now.
Let's get him in. Oh yeah.
Controversy. He'll get another year or so.
No, he won't get another year because there's a new owner.
You might be right.
How's that sandwich?
It's good. It's excellent.
Oh, hell yeah.
I told you guys.
I got the porky pineapple. So
you got the porky pineapple.
Yeah, a little sweet and sour.
I got the Firehouse. That's what it was called.
Oh,
all
okay.
right. Here we go. Moving along here, gang.
What we got?
All right, Braylon Edwards. Let's go to your former team in Cleveland. Is Kevin Stefanski on the hot seat? Hot or not for Stefanski?
I think he's in a weird space.
Yes.
He's in a weird space, and I'm going to say no.
That's why I put him in the list.
This is a hell of a list so far. I'm going to say Kevin Stefanski isn't on the list because he won. Now looking back, he won a playoff game with Baker Mayfield. You look at what Baker Mayfield is now, Kevin Stefanski looks like a genius. So he won one with Baker. Last year, Deshaun Watson, first year, he was suspended for the first 4 games or 6 games. He's not on the hot seat.
All right.
He's not on the hot seat.
All right, Braylon. This is an interesting one, I think, and I'm going to go to another former Braylon Edwards team, the New York Football Jets. Is Robert Saleh on the hot seat, hot or not?
Yes.
I think so, too.
He's absolutely on the hot seat because his first year, you saw last year what he did at the end. It doesn't matter about what the quarterback was. They went out and got who they believe to be the best quarterback ever. They went and got Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has given them money. They've got players. He's on the hot seat because they will get rid of him and keep Aaron.
All right.
He's on the hot seat.
As we re-cue that hot music, Braylon Edwards.
I like it.
Yeah, we got to re-cue that hot music. Look out. 100%. Oh, yeah. Okay, this is one. It was announced today that he will be resuming play calling duties for the first time since he coached in Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers. We go to Dallas. Is Mike McCarthy on the hot seat? Hot or not?
Yeah, he's definitely on that hot seat. And it's funny because you look at his record over the last couple of years. He's got winning records. He has one of the best offenses. I think last year they snuck 12 wins. The year before that, I think they were 13 wins. The year before that, it was 11 wins. But it doesn't matter. The Dallas Cowboys have been embarrassing in the playoffs each and every year if they make the playoffs. Mike McCarthy is on the hot seat for sure.
All right, Braylon.
Jerry Jones ain't getting no younger.
All right, I've got 10 coaches here that I've made the list. Okay. We are through 6 of them. Okay, coming up next, we go to Buffalo.
What was that?
Sean McDermott. Is Sean McDermott on the hot seat, hot or not?
He would be on my hot seat. He would be on my hot seat, but he's not on the NFL's hot seat. They're looking at what he's done. They're giving him the excuse of Brian Daboll leaving as offensive coordinator last year, Von Miller being injured, the whole secondary, the safeties, Micah Hyde being injured. So we'll give him a pass, but it's by the skinnest of hairs. He's not on the hot seat. He would be on mine, but he's not.
Can I break the tie then?
Yeah.
I'm putting him on the hot seat.
Thank you, my
because
brother.
If you go from
his ass on the hot
AFC
seat.
Championship game to second round to first round, now if you keep getting worse, not to mention the animosity that we believe there is with the players. And I don't want to limit it to Diggs. That's the one we know about.
Right.
You know what I mean? If it's Diggs, there might be others.
If it's smoke,
there's fire.
There's fire. Another thing I would give you on that one, too, is they just looked so bad in the playoffs last year. I understand having some players injured, but to look that bad, to get out-coached like that, to get outplayed like that, you're absolutely right. Thanks for bringing me to my senses.
Okay, Braylon Edwards, I want to go all the way out to the West Coast. Brandon Staley, we talk about him a lot. Brandon Staley seems like, if I had to say
hot seat,
hot. I don't even want to say
firecracker.
Hot. Well, that's it. I don't even want to say hot or not, because he obviously is on the hot list, Brandon Staley.
Yeah.
But I see this guy as a potential in-season casualty.
Great call. He, Ron Rivera, and who's the other one I said in the middle of the season? Ty Bowles. Definitely.
Bowles doesn't have a quarterback, though, so they're probably not, you know what I mean?
He had Tom Brady last year.
Yeah.
He had Tom Brady last year.
But this guy, Staley.
Staley, every time they lose a game, I feel like it's his fault. And that's not a good thing to have as a head coach. Now, it's not always going to be his fault, but for me to feel like, and they're always on primetime, so it's not like they're way out on the West Coast and I don't get a chance to see them. They are always on a primetime game. I think he is the reason for a lot of their big losses. That's not acceptable.
Okay, Braylon. Now we go. I've got two more.
Ooh.
And we've talked about this one guy before. He's won, what, 6 Super Bowls?
Yes.
He is 25
As
and
a coach.
25 since Tom Brady left. Bill Belichick, hot or not?
He is on a different kind of hot seat. Now, he's on a different kind of hot seat. He's won 6 Super Bowls. When you've won 6 Super Bowls for a franchise, you'll never be on a hot seat. But when I said different kind of hot seat, because if it doesn't look better this year for Bill Belichick, now that he's went back and got Bill O'Brien as his offensive coordinator and gotten rid of the excuse, which was Matt Patricia, which the city still should always hate. Like, if it doesn't look good and it looks bad, especially in that division, I could see Robert Kraft telling him, you got one more year.
This is where I struggle with Belichick, too, in hot or not, because I do believe Robert Kraft is very impatient. He's not getting any younger, and he wants to win again. Like I said, Belichick 25 and 25 since Tom Brady left the New England Patriots. But here's the caveat.
Talk to me.
Bill Belichick is 30 wins away from Don Shula's all-time head coach wins mark.
Okay.
Is Bill Belichick going to quit? Which is very important to him to get this record. Is Robert Kraft going to fire Bill Belichick 20 wins, 23 wins away? But that to get 30 wins in, 5 years? Are you waiting 5 years for this?
No, and I think they might had a conversation before the season and say, hey, look, I'll give you 3 seasons to get this done. I'll give you 3 years to get this done. Because at the end of the day, 6 Super Bowl titles. And we know what Super Bowls do to a franchise in terms of how much it makes them work each time you win one. 6 Super Bowl titles. He'll give him 3 years, and after 3 years, if he win, lose, or draw, he'll get rid of him. But he definitely wants to get that record, and it's still going to be tough.
I mean, even if Bill Belichick is fired, a team's just going to pick him up. I mean, realistically, he's easily one of the greatest coaches of all time. I think a team would be stupid not to, if he was fired from the Patriots, to pick him up.
Parker, you do realize Bill Belichick is 75.
Hey, there's teams that are really desperate out there.
I can't see.
I've thought about that, Parker.
I can't see him going somewhere else.
I just don't see who's hiring that guy.
Cardinals.
Maybe as a culture guy,
dumb ownership that will make a move. But Bill Belichick, let's not worry about who's hiring. Bill Belichick is not the guy that will be fired or asked to leave where he built the franchise up with Tom Brady. He's not leaving that to go coach, somebody else. He saw in his mentor, Bill Parcells, what Bill did. Bill built up the New York Giants, then he left, didn't have success with the New England Patriots, and did not have success with the New York Jets. Bill Parcells showed him, once you leave the team you built up, you might want to hang it up.
All right, Braylon Edwards, final one.
Final one.
They paid the quarterback.
Ooh, I know where you're going.
John Harbaugh, hot or not? Is John Harbaugh on the hot seat?
Harbaugh's on the hot seat, and one of the big things that was keeping him off the hot seat is the fact that Lamar Jackson wasn't getting paid. So the fact that they didn't pay Lamar Jackson, John Harbaugh was fine. Now that they've paid Lamar Jackson, if they pay Lamar Jackson and it still doesn't work out, you got to blame somebody. You're not going to blame your new $262 million quarterback. You're not going to blame Odell Beckham. You're not going to blame Zay Flowers. You're not going to blame Ronald Stanley. You're going to blame the head coach. He is definitely on the hot seat for the first time, finally. I've been trying to get him on this hot seat for 2 years now. I agree. He is on the hot seat.
There is only one other coach that I considered putting on this list, and I chose not to because I don't think he's quite on the hot seat, but I'll let you be the tiebreaker there. The 11th coach I would have,
Los Angeles?
Nope, is in Las Vegas.
I was close.
Josh McDaniels. Is he on the hot seat?
Patriots former coaches are always on the hot seat. Like when they go to a new team, they're always on the hot seat because they don't amount to anything when they go to new teams. I think he's going to be on the hot seat, but you know what? I take that back. He won't be on the hot seat because they're trying to build Patriots Patriots West. They're trying to build Patriots West. You've seen all the guys that they brought over from the New England Patriots, the players that they're starting to implement over there to help out Josh McDaniels. I think Josh McDaniels he's got 3 years.
Yeah.
He's got 3 years.
I thought so too.
Especially with all the changeover that they've had from Gruden to Bisaccia to McDaniels last year. He's got 3 years.
Yeah, it definitely takes time, I think, with with those New England guys. All right, Braylon Edwards, what did you think of Hot or Not?
I love it, man. We got to play this more often,
I know.
man. It's a fun game, Hot or Not. I was getting into it,
Absolutely.
too. I need some more. I'm like, give me some more coaches. Like, throw somebody else on there.
We've got Cap or No Cap.
Yep.
Wednesday. We have Top 10 Thursday. We have Fill in the Blank Friday, so maybe we'll do Hot or Not Tuesday.
Okay.
Maybe Hot or Not Tuesday from here on in.
I like it.
All right.
We got to do some. We got to do. You know what we have to do? I've been waiting to do this. We each have to bring, and we'll all do it on Monday. We each have to bring a highlight in from the weekend.
I love it.
Like everybody, like all five of us, we bring a highlight in from the weekend.
All right, now the staple that is weekly for us, Fill in the Blank. It's a Fill in the Blank Friday. We will do that next. But first, a message from Fairway Packing Company. I was actually there today on my way home.
I see that truck all the time.
Stopped and got some burgers. I got some burrata blend burgers for me to grill tonight during the Lions game for over 60 years. Fairway Packing Company has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry-aged beef. You can experience the Fairway difference for yourself today. Visit the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods. Grab and go steaks. Order online, fairwaypacking.com. Fairwaypacking.com.
Source H, prime pack to perfection.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog.
Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
It's the Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour.
You're a good coach, Tim. Oh, great shot.
Some of the biggest names in Michigan sports, and some, well, not so much.
Good. Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, yeah, baby.
Watch episodes at woodwardsports.com.
Hour number 2 of the program here on Woodward Sports Network. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button for us. Where are we here? I haven't been paying attention. Can't even see the amount of likes we have, so I don't even know. But hit the like button.
We have 90 likes currently.
Oh, my gosh.
Oh, look at you.
So we got to get over 100 for sure. Let's see if we can get to over 125 likes by the end of this segment. I want to thank everybody that's watching on YouTube right now. And again, if you could share Woodward Sports, the Ermanni and Edwards and Maz program, maybe share it to your social media. Ask your friends to subscribe. Let's see if we can get to 50,000 subscribers for Woodward Sports before the Lions and Chiefs play on Thursday night, September 7th. How about that? We're less than 4,000 away. We're about 3,500 and change. 3,500 subscribers away. Can we get 3,500 subscribers in 3 weeks? Let's see.
I think so.
Braylon Edwards.
I think we can do that.
It is a fill-in-the-blank Friday. Tom Mazaway, by the way, is not with us today. He's on a family vacation. We're wishing him well. Hopefully he's getting some rest and relaxation with the family in Jersey. Braylon Edwards, it is a fill-in-the-blank Friday, though, shall we?
Let's.
Okay. Here we go. The Lions have been blank so far through training camp. The Lions have been blank so far through training camp.
Exceptional. I think exceptional. I think the Lions have been exceptional in terms of the way they've handled the media, the way they've heard all the questions, in terms of the way they're rookies, the way they've implemented them into the system, the way that they've been practicing. The way their guys from last year starting to get some more ticks, the way in which they've done everything, the way in which they've handled the questions. I think from on the field, off the field, and all around, they've been exceptional.
The Lions have been perfect so far through training camp for me. It seems like everything has seemingly gone their way, and they just hit the ground running so far, knock on wood, and I will knock on wood. Please, knock on wood a little bit more.
Who's at that door?
Hello, McFly.
Big bad wolf.
Parker, you want to weigh in on this?
McFleazy.
JB, anybody?
Yeah, and I mean, when I was at the training camp, I was impressed. I mean, you see the way that they have changed, even in these 3 years that Dan Campbell has been the head of the team. I mean, I would agree with Braylon. I mean, I would maybe use inspiring when you get go from a nobody to a somebody. I think that's what I would say. It's inspiring.
Very good. All right, number
Like the
2.
word.
We talked about him a little bit before, but fill in the blank. Jameson Williams will blank tonight against the Giants. Jameson Williams will blank
Ball.
tonight against the Giants. Jameson Williams will ball.
Jameson Williams will ball. Everybody's been asking what he's going to do. Everybody's been every move and thinking about it and saying the negative and saying the positive. It's been a lot said about Jameson Williams. I think finally he gets a chance to go out there. The best thing about athletes or musicians and entertainers, when we find our peaks and solace, when we can do our talking, is on the field, is on the stage, is on the screen. So tonight he's on the stage, and I think he'll ball.
I'm going to go Jameson Williams will catch a touchdown pass.
Score.
Tonight. Score, yes. Tonight against the Giants, whether it's one word or not. Jameson Williams will score tonight against the Giants. I do believe he will want to perform pretty darn well against the home fans. Parker?
I think he will exceed expectations. I think he's had a chip on his shoulder all offseason since the gambling situation came out. I think he will prove a lot of people wrong that were claiming he was a bust after a lot of the – I mean, not just the injury, coming back, maybe not doing as well as everybody thought for season 1. Coming back this year, I think he's going to exceed expectations.
All right, very good. Next question. The rookie you are looking most forward to seeing tonight is?
Brian Branch.
Very good.
Brian Branch. I've talked so much about Sam Laporte, and I do think Sam Laporte is going to be the guy and tight end and the guy early on in the year and even the guy the whole season. But Brian Branch is the guy that I want to see. Like, I want to see how he is on the field. I want to see him in the slot covering the wide receivers. I want to see him on the outside. I want to see his speed in that secondary. So I'm looking forward to seeing Brian Branch.
I'm going to say Dylan Drummond. I just want to see him for myself. I want to see the guy out there performing well, living out his dream. And I think he, too, will score tonight. But Dylan Drummond, to me, is the guy that I am most looking forward to seeing. The rookie I am most forward to looking to seeing tonight. Because I think Laporta, Gibbs, Campbell, Martin, Branch, I think all these guys are going to be just fine.
Right.
When it's all said and done, they'll be just fine and be significant contributors to this football team when they play September 7th against Kansas City in KC. I want to see Drummond tonight.
I do have a player I want to see. He's not a rookie, and I just want to see him on the sideline. That's Kirby Joseph. I want to watch Kirby Joseph talking stuff all game because I guarantee you that's what he's going to be doing. So I look forward to seeing him getting his guys going, getting the rest of the defense amped up. And also, when guys are making plays on offense, I guarantee you Kirby Joseph is going to be one of those guys that's all around the sideline. So I'm looking forward to watching him.
All right, very good. Let's switch sports now. The Tigers are going to be in Boston tonight. The Tigers played really darn well against the Minnesota Twins. They won 3 of 4. They are 6 games back in the loss column to the first-place Twins. So they've got a series in Boston, come back against the Twins. It's a tough month, but Braylon Edwards, on September 1st, the Detroit Tigers will be blank games back on September 1st. The Tigers will be blank games back on September 1st.
Today is August the 11th?
Yes. In 3 weeks. 3 weeks from now.
0. I'm sticking with what I said.
0.
Maz asked this question, man. I'm sticking with 0. Like the Tigers are making it fun. They're winning games. They're catching momentum. Baseball, much like every other sport, but no other sport like baseball and hockey where you catch that momentum at the right time. You can ride that wave to the end of the season and playoffs. So I'm saying 0. Why not? I mean, our division sucks. We got a lot of really good games coming up that are winnable games before we get to the Houston Astros. I want to say in 11 games or 10 games. So I'm saying donut.
I'm going to say 3.
Okay.
I'm going to say 3. And, boy, I mean, that's September. The Tigers' last 10 games of the season where I think they play the A's, the Royals, and the Guardians. Man, if you can just somehow find a way to be 3 or 4 back with those 10 games to play, at least you got a fighting chance. Now, you'd have to be perfect, probably, but gives you a little bit of a chance.
You brought up something. I don't want to go too far. Of course, I was watching. You spoke about the pitching and whatever. I was thinking about Michael Lorenzen and his no-hitter. And so now you see I think he's getting extra days off. He was supposed to pitch again in 6 days. Now they're giving him a total of 10 days. I just think about back in the day where a guy could throw a no-hitter and go pitch like 3 days later, man. Like, they giving him extra time for pitching the no-hitter, 124 pitches. Are you serious?
Unbelievable.
My God.
Braylon, last question here, and maybe this can catapult us into our next topic.
Okay.
And maybe we'll get intern Alex involved in the next topic as well because it's Michigan football related. Braylon Edwards, the Michigan Wolverines will average blank points in their first 4 home games. Michigan will average blank points per game in the first 4 home games: East Carolina, Bowling Green, UNLV, Rutgers.
55.
Or UNLV, wherever. What is it? Yeah, so I got UNLV and Bowling Green switched. But East Carolina, Bowling Green, UNLV, and Rutgers.
Fifty.
Fitty. Better be Fitty. Average now.
It might be more than that, to be honest. Like, it might be more than that. And yeah, I'm going 53.
Ooh.
I'm going 5-3.
I was going 48.
Oh, man.
I was going 47.6, which you round up to 48. That's where I was going, Braylon Edwards. We'll get intern Alex's take next, too, because, there's a lot of discussion in different tiers of players. Is this the most talented group of Michigan players we've seen in quite some time, since 1997? Where is Jared Goff? Where is J.J. McCarthy in terms of college quarterbacks? Where's that running back? Where's the backfield right now in terms of talent around the country? We'll go over that next.
Yeah, because everybody keeps saying this is the most talented team coming into a season. I'm like, I played on a couple talented teams, man. I might beg to differ. But in terms of that, you see what they were doing the last 2 seasons in the first 4 games, especially 2 years ago. So, and this is supposed to be the better team, so I think 53.
All right, here we go. We'll do that next. Michigan talk, but first a message from Mark White.
When buying or selling real estate, flexibility and control over the sales process is key. Sellers, how would you like the freedom of canceling your listing agreement at any time for any reason with no penalty? That is exactly what Mark White & Associates offers. It's called a minute-by-minute listing agreement by Mark White & Associates. Try Mark White's risk-free minute-to-minute listing agreement today. Looking to buy or sell real estate? Visit markwhitesells.com or call 248-290-8242. That number again, 248-290-8242. markwhitesells.com, where flexibility meets success.
How about that rookie? He is something else. How big is that?
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward.
All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports.
Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage. The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win.
Woodward Sports.
Detroit's winning sports network. We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports.
Either way, the heavyweights are here.
Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m. Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog.
Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
By now you know me, Christina Schnari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
Get a shot up. This is for the win.
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward.
All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports.
Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage. The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win.
Woodward Sports.
Detroit's winning sports network. We aren't quite sure if they consume more beer or sports.
Either way, the heavyweights are here.
Live on Woodward Sports, daily 5 to 7 p.m.
Hey, welcome back, Woodward Sports. We are live from Dispo in Hazel Park, 9 Mile and 75. Dispo, a great partner here with us at Woodward Sports. Want to talk a little college football now, if we could. Intern Alex is a student at the University of Michigan, Braylon. He's been with us. Today's his last day, summer internship at Woodward Sports.
I gave him the nickname.
You gave Intern IA.
I gave him the nickname.
Not Intern AI. Intern Alex, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great. Thanks so much for having me on.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, what did you think of the internship? How'd you like it? What do you think of Woodward Sports?
It was awesome. Great experience getting to learn the insides and outs of the world of sports media, and I've loved every minute of it.
And you're a big Michigan guy, right?
Oh, huge. I've watched every game of the Jim Harbaugh era. I haven't missed one since the Hoke era. It's great to be a Michigan Wolverine as you right there.
Better say it again.
I follow 365 days a year. It's my favorite sport out there.
Alex, let me ask you, just to go back to our fill-in-the-blank Friday question, I'll ask you the question we posed to each other and the group in the last segment. Michigan will score an average of blank points per game in the first 4 home games. What do you say?
I'm going to go aggressive. I'm going to go 52. I think they crossed the 50 barrier. You heard in Sherrone Moore's press conference this week, one of their primary focuses is burying teams early, getting Blake out early, getting Donovan out early, let CJ, Kalel, Ben Hall, Cole Cabana all get their carries early, load up. Hopefully JJ is better on the deep ball, better in the red zone, better on the third down. So I think they come out aggressive, come out swinging, just bury teams.
That's what I'm talking about. I went 53, you went 52. I love it. You speaking about coming out aggressive this year. Last year you saw them try to use J.J. McCarthy and it just never really got going. And so they kind of look like they scrapped it a little. What do you want to see out of them in these first 4 games as it relates to the passing game?
One thing I really want to see is them using play action more. Because last year, according to Pro Football Focus, J.J. was the highest-rated quarterback in the country on play action. He had 82 dropbacks and had 43 first downs on play action passes, along with 9 touchdowns and 1,100 yards on 82 dropbacks. So I think they can really use the running game to their advantage to open up the pass there. So that's what I really want to see.
Why the hell didn't we on
I was thinking the same thing. Why
haven't we had you on before?
See, we wasted his internship.
We just wasted your entire internship. Oh, my God.
He broke that down. He was ready. Well, actually,
awesome.
What he did was there was on 90 dropbacks and 90 at 43.
Dude, you are awesome. But let me ask you this, because we complain a lot. I think, Michigan fans complain in general about the way Michigan wins. It's boring. They just turn around and run, hand off the ball, and do all of this. When you guys are on campus, when you guys are talking Michigan football with each other, does it matter to you how they win, or is it just win?
So for a lot of the hardcore fans, they're like me, where they're in the just win boat. Who cares how it looks? There's no style points on the scoreboard, right? But for a lot of the more casual fans, the one who it's less of an event, they want the style points. They want the flashy deep bombs. They want it to look like 2019 LSU out there. They're not fans of the Big Ten traditional spread power run offense. But I don't really care about the style points as long as they win.
Now, just for the people out there, we hear Alex, we hear him. But right now the camera is frozen, so we won't see him right now. But he is with us right now, so that's – oh, you do have it. Oh, very good. Okay, very good. Sorry, Braylon, did you have something?
I did have something. For the people out there that are worried about style points and for the people that are worried about how you win, you know what looks good right here? I wrote a number down. You see what that looks right there?
Oh, I do.
It's 13-0. You know what that is? It's 13-0, and that's what it takes to win the Big Ten championship. So I don't care how you get there. Get there. And then we'll talk about the style points in the next round.
Alex,
Brent Blair, what up, though?
It's Braylon. You got all kinds of people all over.
We grew up back to like a block over.
That's the thing with man. You got family all over.
It's my guy Brent Blair, man. Shout out to Brent Blair, man. Shout out to the neighborhood.
It's great.
Green Acres.
It's great working and living where you grew up because you got that. I mean, we all. You know what I mean? You got people that knew you when you were 5 years old coming to support you.
You know when you go by somewhere where you live or work, whatever, and you like going home, like to go back by there is out the way. Like whenever I'm in this area, I always go that way to go home.
Me.
I always have to go back that way.
I always go by 16524 Juliana if I'm down there eating.
20251 Briarcliff, baby. You know what time it is.
Absolutely. Hey, Alex, I wanted to ask you. So let's focus on the three offensive players for Michigan: J.J. McCarthy, Donovan Edwards, and Blake Corum. Which one do you think will wind up in New York for the Heisman Trophy Award, if any?
If any, I think JJ. I think one thing Harbaugh's really going to look at is load management for the running backs. You know, last year, Blake went out against Illinois, didn't have him the rest of the year, only 2 carries against Ohio State. And you don't want another situation with Donovan where he's playing with a broken left hand and a torn patellar tendon. Like, he got first chased down on that first long run against TCU. Fully healthy Donovan Edwards, he has that any play of the day. That drive doesn't end with a failed Philly special on 4th down. So I don't think any of them are going to make it to New York. But if anyone will, it'll be JJ because he's finally getting that deep ball going. Better on 3rd down, better in the red zone, and Michigan scores more points that way.
It's our Michigan insider this year, man.
No doubt. What about defensively? Will Johnson obviously is a name that everybody knows. He seems like he just came in last year as a freshman and performed probably just as good, if not better, than any defensive back in the last
Yeah,
I don't
Marlon
say
Jackson,
decade
Leon
because,
Hall.
But Jabril Peppers was out there in the Heisman Trophy. But I think Will Johnson even performed better
at the position.
Had a better year last year singularly than even Jabril Peppers.
Well, Jabril Peppers, they moved him around a lot. He played the jack of all positions. He played the Viper position, so he's playing a little bit of linebacker, a little bit of safety. He's playing some DBs, returning punts. He never really got a chance to focus on anything. Will Johnson is a DB. DB.
No doubt.
So, it's much different with him. Yeah. It's like Marlon Jackson when I was there.
Alex, is there any names out there that we haven't heard on the Michigan roster that will impact this team almost right away where we'll be like, we're gonna hear that guy's name a lot coming in the coming years to come or weeks to come?
This year, I think Michigan's really lucky. There's no true freshman who's really going to be forced into a role since they have so much depth at every level. It's not going to be like last year where you have to see Mason Graham get shoved in and perform great defensive tackle, or Will Johnson come in and play cornerback 1 against Marvin Harrison Jr. in the horseshoe. I don't think anyone's going to have too big a role. I think you will see Samaj Morgan on the kick return and the punt return unit this year. He was great last year at West Bloomfield. And I think they're going to want to move away Rowan Wilson from the kick return as well. So they're going to get a freshman in, let him get his reps, get experience, get comfortable in the big house. So Samaj Morgan's my guy to look out for this year.
All right, IA, let's stop dancing around the topic. Look, we know we're going to be Ohio State again this year. We'll be 13-0. That's the goal. Let's talk about the semifinals and national championship. What does Michigan and Harbaugh need to do to win the national championship this year?
So one thing to win the national championship is, first off, you really hope Georgia loses the semifinal because Georgia's an absolute Death Star right now. They're returning 7 defensive starters.
I love honesty.
6 on offense. So you really hope that happens. But if they don't.
Freshman quarterback,
yeah. First year, Carson Beck, still 5-star. Got, Ladd McConkey, great college receiver. Brock Bowers, best tight end in the country.
Yeah.
But
he could win the Heisman.
He could. But Michigan's deep enough, they can run with anyone else. And I think it looks like 2016 Clemson a little bit where they might not be a better top-to-bottom roster than Georgia, but they're right there. But the difference will be in quarterback play. And you'll see J.J. McCarthy, if he has a great game, he can even it up against Georgia, and that can be what leads to Michigan bringing home a national title for the first time since '97.
I love it.
Is it national title or bust?
I really don't like the national title or bust sentiment. I'm stoked, not scared, but I think the most important thing for any given season for University of Michigan football is being the Ohio State Buckeyes, first and foremost. That is beat the Buckeyes, win the Big Ten, win the national title in that order. But beating Ohio State should and always will be number 1 in my book.
You keep with this national championship or bust stuff, man. I think it's win the playoff game.
I think it's just beat East Carolina right now. Just beat East Carolina. Hey, intern Alex, we absolutely love you. We think the world of you. Man. You are so awesome. It was a pleasure having you around this summer, and you always have a home here. And whenever you're back home, you come see us. If you ever got something to say during school, we'll get a V-Mix to you.
100%.
We might do a V-Mix Wednesday.
We'll meet him up at the Jug.
Yeah,
we'll meet him at the Jug.
We might do a V-Mix Michigan weekly with intern Alex.
I would love it.
You are a total pleasure to be around, Alex. Thanks so much, buddy.
Thanks so much for bringing me out today.
You got it. Absolutely. Thanks for everything you do for us. Guys, we are going to take a break. Come right back when we do NFL. But first, a message from Les Stanford, Chevrolet Cadillac Buick GMC. That's right, Les Stanford has expanded into Ferndale, a trusted name for over 55 years. Les Stanford Buick GMC offers the same great service that customers have come to know. You can go check them out on Woodward, just south of 9 Mile. And, of course, looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac, Les Stanford in Dearborn on Michigan Avenue, where they have been for 55 years. You can find the brand you want under one umbrella, LesStanford.com, LesStanford.com. Find new roads.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then, she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
Big Boy Strawberry Fest has officially arrived, and we're here to show you the very best flavors of the season. Satisfy your sweet tooth with our deep-fried vanilla Oreos, strawberry hot fudge cake, and a slice of our classic strawberry pie. But that's not all. Cool off on a refreshing summer splash salad, or savor the flavors of our chicken Caesar wrap and strawberry bacon chicken wrap. And for breakfast lovers, don't miss out on our strawberry hotcakes or our mouth-watering red velvet waffle. Strawberry Fest is something for everyone. Celebrate the sweet season with us at Big Boy.
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network. We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Get a shot up. This is for the win.
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward.
All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports.
Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage. Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America.
Woodward Sports,
the first sports network born in Detroit
and made for Detroit.
Game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
How about that rookie? He is something else. How big is that?
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward.
All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports.
Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Have an opinion?
Make sure it's seen and heard.
Corner, jumper, Allen!
Tweet us, hop on the YouTube chat, slide in the DMS at Woodward Sports on all social media.
Get a shot up. This is for the win.
All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward.
All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports.
Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Hey, welcome back, Woodward Sports Network. Want to get you some particulars. We announced at the start of the show that the Lions had signed Khalif Raymond to a new deal. That deal is worth $14 million. $8.1 million guaranteed, 2-year deal, and that is reported by Dave Burkett of the Detroit Free Press. 2 years, $14 million, 8.1 guaranteed. So that is the financials on Khalif Raymond.
Yeah, shout out to Dave Burkett, man. He does a hell of a job, and he's a friend of the show. But once again, this goes to making your players happy. When you do things like this, it goes in the long run. It's also not about the guys that are on the team now. It's about guys around the league looking to make moves in the offseason, looking to make moves during the season. You're like, man, look at how they take care of their players. That's what you want to be known as a franchise that takes care of their players. And when you do things like this for a guy like Khalif Raymond, you open up the doors in free agency.
You know, one of the things, too.
Even further.
We had Matt Broder on our show earlier this week. Broder of the WoodwardSports.com Lions beat writer, and he tweeted out a little bit ago some of the things that he is watching for tonight. Just a quick thought on you, Braylon, from what he says he's watching for tonight. Number one, Derek Barnes. Barnes competing for a starting linebacker job. Obviously, it looks like Alex Anzalone gets one of those starting spots. And then you've got Derek Barnes, Jack Campbell, Malcolm Rodriguez, those three players fighting for that other linebacking spot.
Yeah, Derek Barnes is a guy that came on the show, and 2 years ago you saw what he was able to do in the end of the season. Had a really good game, and then he followed up by the Broncos game. But last year kind of necessarily was in and out of action. So you want to see what he's got. There's Jack Campbell who's coming in there. Jack's going to get one of those spots. He's not coming here to start. Alex Anzalone is a guy that got paid in this offseason, so they want him to keep leading like he did to the tune of 148 tackles or so. So, he's got his work cut out from him. But hey, man, he's another Big Ten guy. He's a Purdue guy, tough as nails. Let's see how he's grown in his 2 years, because he's now entering year 3. You want to see in year 3, you got to make a jump. Like if you can't make the jump by the time the preseason is over, Ryan, you're probably not going to make that jump during the season. No offense to him. If you don't show something during preseason, a guy that's in year 3, it's probably not going to happen during the season.
This is an interesting one. I really like this one. Broder tweeting out Antoine Green. It'll be interesting to see how he responds to all this Drummond hype. And Dan Campbell actually singled him out as a guy who needs to shore up some consistency, be a little bit more consistent out there on the practice field. He was a late-round pick by the Lions this year from North Carolina. Antoine Green, a lot of promise, but can he actually put it all together now? In-game action, he's going to be looking for Antoine Green.
Definitely showed some promise last year with Drake May, who's the second-best quarterback in college football right now. But just watching Antoine Green's in an interesting situation. He's come in, and this is what happens when you come into a team that seems like they've got it going right and they're doing the right thing, is you come in and you just think you're just a part of the team that's already done it. He didn't put in the work Amon-Ra St. Brown put in. He didn't put in the work that the rest of the Detroit Lions have put in. He's not one of the guys yet. He's a guy that's trying to find a position. And sometimes those guys come in, they get drafted, Ryan, and they feel like, oh, I got drafted, I'm here. And this could not be him at all. This is just me talking. But sometimes they're like, I got drafted, I'm here. I'm a part of the team now. I'm going to be gone. They don't work as hard. They don't put in the attention. They think that they've been drafted. They've arrived. I got newsflash for you. Guys get cut in the 4th round. So when you come to a team, once you get drafted, that's the first step. Now you got to find a mentor. Now you got to soak up the information. Now you got to do little extra things on the field. So we'll see. If he wants to be here, I'm pretty sure we'll see. But he could be one of those cases where, hey, man, I got drafted. That was all it took.
And, again, just kind of responding to some of the things that our Lions beat writer, Matt Broder, is looking for tonight. You can follow him on Twitter, @MattBro21 on X, I guess we call that. Broderick Martin, heavy minutes incoming for Broderick Martin. That's a guy that feels like Broderick Martin feels like he's a lottery pick. You know what I mean? If he comes in and becomes that run stuffer, that guy's going to eat up the middle of the field, eat up the middle of the defense. Man, you have hit gold if this guy can become anything.
Broderick Pick is the pick I'm marking and I'm watching, because it could be the one that really takes me to a new level as it relates to Brad Holmes, who you all know what I call him, the mad scientist. This could be the pick. Everybody wanted Jalen Carter. Me. I did. I wanted another interior defensive presence because I thought that's where we were weak last year. That's how the Carolina Panthers game happened, because we were weak up the middle. So I've always said that's what I wanted. We didn't address that. I said I'm always going to watch that. If Broderick Martin ends up being the player that Brad Holmes knows he's going to be in, which is why they drafted him in that position, and we're happy that they were able to draft him in that position, then he's going to be right yet again, and it could do damage for the Detroit Lions in terms of in a good way. You bring a guy like that in and he meets the requirement and more, Broderick Martin could be the key to Brad Holmes going from a mad scientist to I don't even know what to call him.
And, again, we talked about this one. Obviously, number 4 for him, we talked about it at length. Jamison Williams, he's going to be, quote-unquote, doused with action. That's a Dan Campbell word, not ours or Broder's. But that's what Dan Campbell pointed out. He's going to be doused with action this preseason, Jamison Williams. And, again, we talked about him at length. But, again, he's a guy that a lot of people will be watching for tonight.
Yeah, and he should be watching tonight. He's the guy. He's the guy that can show your offense to be resemblant of what the NFL looks like today. Hey, Dan Campbell's going to put that guy in the game. He is going to run him to death. He is going to get him tired. He's going to see how does Jamison Williams thinks when he's gone on 9 plays in a row? How does he think when he's run a deep route and we bring him back for a running play? How is his win? How is his thought process as these things are going on? Because that's what coaches want to see. They want to see how do you react when you're tired? How do you react when you make a mistake? So they're going to get after him because it's also, Ryan, it's muscle memory. Yeah. So once he goes through this, he'll start to have that muscle memory for when he comes back in week 7, when he comes back. Yeah, he may struggle a little bit in the first quarter, but by quarter 2, that rush should be knocked off and that muscle memory should kick in, and you build the muscle memory now.
And, again, those are some of the things that our guy Matt Broder looking for tonight. Our Lions beat reporter here at Woodward Sports. Follow him on Twitter. He'll be tweeting about the game tonight. He'll be covering the game tonight at MattBro21. We love Broder, and you'll hear from him on our show all throughout the football season. Braylon, we are going to take a break. When we come back, more NFL. The Tennessee Titans are doing something in the preseason that I think is genius. Yeah. I have not seen this for a full game before. I want your reaction to it next. But first, a message from Planet Fitness.
Planet Fitness is a home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and I mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. We are here to help you build lasting and an active lifestyle. Planet Fitness, you will experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment full of body workout in just 30 minutes in the 30-minute circuit, and all memberships include fitness training are included in the membership. You get all of this for just $10 a month. Yes, still $10 a month. Your fitness is essential, and fitness is a key part of physical and mental wellness, and that is all at Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Play, practice, party, and play at 5 Iron Golf, located inside the Detroit Cambria Hotel. It's downtown, right next to Channel 4. Great place, 13 golf simulator. Detroit Cambria Hotel, right next to right next to another network right downtown. Practice, play, party, how you want it. Look, man, you mentioned code name Woodward promo. You get 50% off your first time down there. We went yesterday. We had a great time. I forgot the golf course we played, but, hey, we stunk up the joint. But you know what? We had a lot of fun doing it. Shout out to those guys down there at 5 Iron Golf. Jason, we appreciate you. It's going to be a fun partnership.
Having a lot of fun here at Dispo. Want to thank our friends Darren Dabish and Sean Dabish here at Dispo. 12 locations. We're at the one in Hazel Park. Great partners with us here at Woodward Sports, and we certainly appreciate their partnership. I do want to point this out as well. I am just made up an arbitrary number as I look at our stats Let me tell you the stats here at Woodward Sports. We're at 46.4.
Okay.
46,400 subscribers to the network here on YouTube. I like round numbers. So I have a goal that I just set today, an ambitious goal of getting to 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. So I'm asking everybody to grab the link, share it on your social media, and subscribe to Woodward Sports on YouTube. Let's get to 50,000 subscribers by the time the Lions and Chiefs play on September 7th here in KC. Cool?
Let's do it.
Fair enough?
I'm over here trying to do it right now.
All right. Very good. I wanted to address this story because I saw this story this morning, and I thought it was absolutely beautiful. So the Tennessee Titans, their assistant coach, Terrell Williams, will serve as the head coach of the Tennessee Titans on a Saturday against the Chicago Bears. Mike Vrabel presented this idea to Williams a couple of weeks ago, and we have seen coaches call offensive series. We have seen them call plays, an increased workload, but we have never seen before a head coach essentially staying out of it, not giving a pregame speech, not getting a headset on and not calling plays. Terrell Williams, who's an African-American assistant coach, black assistant coach, is going to be the head coach for the game. And Mike Vrabel wants to put his guys in a position to do it. Just one more thing you can put on your resume. I love this idea. Williams was very emotional at the podium when he spoke to the media in Tennessee, calling it an immense honor and just eternally grateful to Vrabel for this opportunity.
Look, man, me and Coach Williams, we are black guys, okay?
Very good. I don't know what I'm supposed to say anymore.
I'm messing with you. Man.
So thank you.
This is good, man. This is cool by Coach Vrabel and to do this with Coach Williams. See, the thing about it is, look, if the system isn't going to change, then you got to have guys help change the system. And Mike Vrabel and coaches like that, you see what Dan Campbell did last year with Deuce Staley, let him be the offensive coordinator. I was wrong not the whole game, but he played offensive coordinator for a preseason last year. It's good when you see things like this because guys get that experience. Owners see them have that experience. Players see them have that experience. And also, what you're gauging in a head coach, how will players respond to certain individuals? How will players respond to guys? Not everybody is meant to be a head coach. I don't care what color he is. You see what happened with Nathaniel Hackett when he went out to Denver last year. It didn't go so well for him in his tenure as a head coach. So when you get guys a chance in a preseason, it's not about just how they do on the field, but you're watching how guys respond to them. You're watching how defensive coordinators respond to them, how offensive coordinators respond to them. So I appreciate that he's giving guys the opportunity. That's just dope by Mike Vrabel, man. I wouldn't think it would come from a Bill Belichick disciple.
Well, and again, so Williams apparently took over last night because they consider the night before is game night.
Yeah.
Like everything that you prepare for. So the Titans team meeting on Thursday night, he has to formulate a plan. Who is going to start? Who is going to sit? Who's playing? Who's not playing? That is all up to Terrell Williams.
That's real stuff. When you become a head coach, you got to get in front of this team. Your job is to motivate these men. Everybody chooses different paths. Nobody is the same in motivating individuals. But the one thing about it is when you're in front of the team, you're the head man. You have to find a way to motivate the guys. You got to find a way to call that right timeout in the game. You got to find a way to motivate your guys or light that fire under somebody's butt at the right time, Paul. So we'll see how this does. And Coach Williams and Ryan, we'll watch. I mean, this is a great topic by you. We'll watch. What does this do to the rest of the NFL? How do the rest of the coaches respond to this? How many more guys are going to be like Coach Vrabel and Coach Williams?
Yeah, so Williams, 12 years of his 25-year coaching career in the NFL. The rest was in college. Mike Vrabel says that this is a man who deserves to be a head coach and will eventually be a head coach. And again, if the system isn't going to change, you have to have people willing to change the system. I thought that was so well said. And maybe this will be a catalyst for other people to do it. Maybe Dan Campbell will let Aaron Glenn do this. If not this year, maybe next if he doesn't get a head coaching opportunity and so forth. Because it does matter when you get guys in different looks. You know, you have them wear the headset as the head coach. You address the team. You make the game plan. You decide who starts, who sits.
The other thing about it, too, Ryan, if you think about it from this point of view, dang.
And if he falls on his face, he falls on his face.
Right.
But at least he had the opportunity.
Yeah, at least he had the opportunity. And a lot of times right now, guys that get promoted as the head coach are young offensive coordinators.
Yes.
They're young offensive coordinators. Now we can take this outside of a black and white context. Old guys that have been in the league for a long time, they're passing those coordinators by too.
Defensive line coach, this guy, Terrell.
See what I'm saying? Guy that's a defensive line coach, been in the league 12 years. You got other guys that have been in the league 20 years and 30 years. They're going to get passed up because they're older, because they're 55, because they're 49, because they're 60. They're not going to be the guys that they look to elevate within. It's only young coordinators that we see getting these opportunities or coaches that have been proven like Sean Payton.
Okay, I know it's a little early and it's a little bit degen. But the Titans are 3.5-point underdogs to the Chicago Bears. Bet of the week, Tennessee Titans plus 3.5.
Is that tonight?
It's Saturday. Bet of the week, Tennessee plus 3.5. These guys are going to play for him.
Against Chicago?
Against Chicago.
You do know Justin Fields is starting that game.
That's fine. I've got 3 capable quarterbacks. Ryan Tannehill, even if he doesn't play, Malik Willis, and Will Levis.
Bet of the week, Ryan Ermanni. You heard it here first.
Plus 3.5. It is the bet of the week, and I'm rooting for Tennessee because of this.
Well, you know me. You know my favorite team growing up was the Oilers, so I'm always a Tennessee Titan fan. I can't wait to see that new stadium that they unveiled, too, by the way. The new stadium that they're building for the 2025.
Yeah, it looks good. But one of the things, I did see that stadium, they got to paint the end zones.
They got to paint the end zone.
I looked at that. They got the green end zones with just the Titans in there. You have to paint the end zones. I think that was one of the big mistakes. Well, I mean, if you're looking at Ford Field, when they moved into Ford Field, the Lions had no painted end zones, and it looked weird. And ultimately, they corrected that and painted the end zone.
But the other thing too, I mean, they have 2 years before that's not like I was from Baltimore. But they have 2 years before they have to decide what they want to do with the end zone. So it might just be like a rough copy.
Amen to that. All right, guys, we'll be back to wrap it up next. Tigers tonight as well. And is there an NFL game? Well, maybe the one we just talked about, Tennessee, Chicago. But is there another game this weekend that you're looking at as something you're looking forward to? But first, a message from Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in any Lady Jane's for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter for your chance to win not 1 but 2 cars of your choice, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. That's right, one for you, your wife, your girlfriend, your best bud, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, whoever you want to give it to. Lady Jane's, it's open 7 days a week. You can walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically enter for your chance to win not 1, but 2 vehicles of your choice, courtesy of Les Stanford Buick GMC of Ferndale. That's right, 2 cars, 1 for you, 1 for your wife, your girlfriend, or your best bud. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime, sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Let one of our talented, award-winning stylists make you look handsome and clean. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
The Academy of Warren has a brand new state-of-the-art sports dome field house that has regulation basketball courts, volleyball courts, and a soccer field, which can also be used for 7-on-7 football. AOW features K-8 features with AM and PM latchkey, small classroom sizes, Learning Street, futuristic media center, free breakfast and lunch, Houghton Mifflin curriculum, academic games, and K-8 athletics. Don't forget that Ermanni and Edwards will be broadcasting from their carnival August 24th, so come meet the staff. Come meet me, JB, Braylon Edwards, and Ryan Ermanni. Also, Maz will be back at that point. So, and also, AOW is now accepting new enrollment, so go to academyofwarren.net. That website again, academyofwarren.net.
You ready to go see a wrestling event, huh?
Yeah,
I saw you. AEW.
I was like,
Guys, Tigers and Red Sox tonight. Tarek Skubal and Chris Sale. Let's see who the Twins have. Twins at the Phillies, Bray.
Hey,
I mean, come on.
Hey, Phillies can knock the Twins
Yes,
off again, man. They can help
come
us out.
on. Here we go. Hey, Braylon, I asked you, what is the one preseason NFL game, if there is one, that you're looking forward to outside of the lines? And, of course, we just mentioned the Tennessee-Chicago game, why that game seems important for a bunch of different reasons. But is there a game you're looking forward to?
Yeah, and it's 1 o'clock tomorrow, and it is it's the Indianapolis Colts versus the Buffalo Bills. Like everybody, including Jahmyr Gibbs, as much as we love him here in Detroit and we're going to support him, everybody wants to see Anthony Richardson. Everybody wants to see what is Anthony Richardson going to be with the Colts? What is he going to be in the NFL? And adversely on the other side, what the hell is Josh Allen going to do this year? What is Sean McDermott going to do this year? What does that defense look like? Is Von Miller going to be back? How is Micah Hyde going to be this year? So I think this will be the game that they play a couple guys early on, and I want to see what it looks like. And also Jonathan Taylor now in the backfield. What does that look like for the Colts?
All right, the game I'm looking most forward to this week and this weekend is on Sunday, 1 o'clock, NFL Network. By the way, the NFL Network has a doubleheader on Sunday. The game that I'm looking forward to is the first one, the Chiefs at the Saints, because it was revealed today that Patrick Mahomes will play against the Saints the first quarter, Braylon Edwards. Not one series. He's going to play the first quarter. He wants to play, and Andy Reid wants him to play. He likes to get off to good starts. He just wants to see how it looks. And again, when I hear Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes talking like this,
Dan Campbell and Jared Goff, you better do the same thing.
If Andy Reid is agreeing to play Patrick Mahomes the first series because he thinks it's important to actually have the real feel of a game, by golly, I was thinking of a different word. By golly, let me see my starters too then.
But at the same time, I will go, because I said I wouldn't want to see him, and I'm going to stick by that. I said, but by that metric, I have a lot of fun. But let me be honest with you. One thing that the Lions have done well, Brad Holmes and Lions, is they do things their way. They don't do things by anybody else's way. They don't draft who you think they're going to draft. They don't pay who you think they're going to pay. They don't play who you think they're going to play. So just keep doing things your way. If they believe that they're good, if they believe that they're in a space that they don't need to play, then don't let us mess up your magic. But with that being said, it's kind of hard watching Patrick Mahomes, who just won MVP, Super Bowl MVP, and the Super Bowl. It's kind of hard watching him play for a whole quarter.
Patrick Mahomes says, quote, I always say that first hit, exactly what you said, Brad. I always say that first hit, you want to get hit. You want to go through a long off season working through the pocket, knowing your guys are rushing, but they can't touch you. So it's just different when you get in the game and you're able to get tackled and everything like that. So just the threat of being hit, Braylon, is enough for him. I like to have at least one or
football.
Andy Reid says, oh, no, this is still Mahomes. I like to have at least 1 or 2 drives under my belt to say, okay, I'm ready now that we're doing it right. Coach Reid allows me to do that. And Andy Reid says, just get in the flow. Going through warm-ups, the juices are going to go a little bit more than they would be in practice. It's a gradual ramp up, but he will play.
Did he and I have a conversation before?
I know, and that's well, you guys have the same mindset, right?
It's the real. I mean, that's the mentality when we used to approach it in the preseason. It's like, look, man, before the season starts, you want to get hit, you want to make that first big play, you want to get tired. That was another thing the preseason games were good for, is getting tired for the first time. Because no matter what type of shape you're in, you can be in Jerry Rice shape, peak phenomenal shape, Roger Craig type shape, Barry Sanders type shape. It doesn't matter. That first series in the season, you're going to get tired, and you want that to happen because it's extra things going. It's not just you in shape. It's anxious. It's anxiety. It's adrenaline. All that's flowing. Heart's beating a little faster. You lose your breath. You want that to happen in preseason so that when it happens, like during the regular season, that first game, you're already rocking and rolling. You're into that rhythm.
If you're going out to the game tonight, looks like you might get rained on a little bit. Are you going, Parker?
Hold on, you have season tickets. You're not going?
Nah, I'm not going. I'm gonna watch it at home with. I gave them to my brother-in-law. Dang, I know.
I'm just messing with you.
I know. I gave them to my brother-in-law.
I'm not going in.
You gotta watch it at home.
I will.
I'm gonna grill some burgers and we're just gonna watch it. I'm trying to get Luke, in my little 6-year-old, in everything with me. So
you know what would be good for Luke is those alternate casts with Nickelodeon.
Yeah,
and those
right.
That'd be good for Lukey, man. That'd be good because I think they do a lot of things to keep keep the motion going.
Yeah.
So that he can focus a little over here and focus a little on that. Me, and you see where we're at. You know.
I know.
You see where we're at. You know what I'm doing tonight.
I took him to SummerSlam for a little bit. It was a little too overwhelming for him, so I was thinking about taking him tonight, and then I was like, yeah.
That'd be a lot back to
Yeah, right. So it's all good. If you're going, enjoy the game tonight. Braylon Edwards, my brother from another mother. My goodness, what a great week this has been for us. Again, thanks to everybody who's been watching and listening. Tell a friend about Woodward Sports. Share our links with them. Maybe you can grab our Woodward Sports show on YouTube and share it with your friends. Ask them to subscribe to the show and the network, Woodward Sports, trying to get to 50,000 subscribers by the first game. Intern Alex, you rock, dude.
100%.
All the best to you. We'll talk to you throughout football season. I definitely want to have you back. Maybe on Wednesdays this year. We'll talk to Intern Alex about Michigan football. So we'll get Maz in touch with you.
We'll catch up and preview.
Absolutely. JB, you know you're the GOAT, my man. You know you're the GOAT. And Parker, thank you. We got Brady down here as well. Darren Dabish, Sean Dabish here at Dispo. We cannot thank you enough for everything that you do for us. So thank you so much. Get us out of here, Bray.
All that praising he did, man. I'm not saying anything to you guys, man. He gave you enough praise. No, everything he said, I echo. And shout out to the sponsors that we have, man. Shout out to Dispo. Thanks for letting us come here. Thanks for the partnership that we have. Thank you to the other partnerships that we have. You know, Brady's done a great job, our sales manager, but partnering with people that we want to partner with, things that we're like-minded on. So, hey, if you want to work with Woodward Sports Network, if you're right, we'll work with you. For my man Parker, for my man JB, for Brady over there, Ryan Ermanni, and for intern Alex, whose last day it is, we are Woodward Sports Network. Ermanni and Edwards with Matt.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.